What's up, YouTube? Destructible here today. We're playing Grim Dawn, Forgotten Gods new expansion. I'm trying off a new build with a name that I decided to just make up. I hope it sounds cheesy and you hate it because it was really all I can come up with. In like 10 seconds, I was thinking of a name. So, excuse me. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, like, subscribe, all that stuff. But for those who are really listening, I really would like some comments, if anything. You can leave a thumbs down, all that. I honestly don't mind. I just want some criticism. I am going to be looking at other Grim Dawn build makers, so I have a reference point, and maybe can provide better details to those who are curious about this build and would like to mimic it in some way. With that being said, I do hope you enjoy this video. If you do, leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff. I will definitely still be making videos of this. So, thank you. Hey everyone, Destructible here today. Today I'm showing off my Leech Cloud Oppressor build. I did just make up that name. I hope you guys understand why. I am going to start off right away by saying I did quite a few errors as I was explaining this the first time before I edited it to show you a much quicker breakdown of what we got going on here with this build. So I just want to say it right now, this is my first build. A lot of this gear I just kind of threw together. I really just rushed this character as quickly as I could. I just wanted to get him, and I wanted to get him all the way up and then just have some fun with it. And I made some errors, and I need to go back and fix them, so I do apologize. However, this build is still really effective, even though like at least a third of it could be corrected, and then half the gear could probably be improved. But whatever, it's good. I hope you guys enjoy. Anyway, I'm going to go through real fast, show all this stuff, show my gear, and yeah, give me your thoughts and opinions. I'd appreciate it. Let me know if you guys want me to do more. I really do think I'm going to do more videos anyway, showing off other builds. It takes a lot of time to do these, and I have a lot of fun doing it. But yeah, anyway, so let's get right into it. So first off, we're starting off with the Death Guard Blade. I use a 4-piece of the Death Guard set because it has a whole bunch of abilities for the Necro. So yeah, I went with that. This build is going to be consisting of me my priority was, when I was doing this build, was looking for acid, vitality, and poison damage being done. So that was what I did. I went in, and vitality DK. I just went into anything that was poison and acid. I'm sorry, poison and vitality. So I'm not even going to say it. You'll see it on every piece of gear. It's all poison and vitality damage. Everything else, from the components to the augments, was me just trying to balance out my resistances, so I at least was maxed for ultimate difficulty. We all know you need it, so that's my understanding, and that's what I did. I will only point out a couple of big things with certain items. Yeah, so anyway, I'm just going to highlight over them, say their name, show it real quickly, and move on. I'm using 2 Mythic Cursebearer rings. They're both using Silvaria's Essence and Runebound Topaz. I'm also using the Death Guard Hood. Obviously, I got the 4-piece going on here. And I'm using Titan Plating and Mankind's Vigil. The Mythical Maw of the Dam, I want to mention, the biggest thing is the component I put into it, which is Seal of Might. I believe it could be better. I don't think this is the best one to go with. However, as I've already mentioned, there are issues with the build. I am overcapped on my poison, my bleeding, and vitality. However, that's all due to me in the devotion points I ended up putting in. I didn't expect it to overcap me that much once I'd had all my gear on, but it did, so I apologize. Okay, moving on. I got the Death Guard manual on. I'm using a Silk Swatch and Mankind's Vigil. And then let's move on again to the spell Scorch Plaguing, which is increasing my elemental resistances. I needed a little bit more. I was just shy of having the 80% on all of them, so I put that on. And then the Coven's Wording Powder, obviously for the elemental resistance. And then I went with the Anti-Venom Salve on these Mythical Graves of the Ill Omens. And the Coven Black Ash for resistances. I'm just kidding. I keep showing these real fast and just show a couple of items in here. And you may notice, or already have noticed, what this build is all about. Where are we at? Okay, well, first off, the Hance grants Life Drinker. So Life Drinker is going to be dealing vitality damage, which is the build's primary source of damage. And then 20% of that damage is being converted into health. So a lot of that damage to health stuff that's going on in this build. There was also the metal. So I chose this metal because it does a giant AoE called Lifesteal Nova. It does 6,200 vitality damage, and then 100% of that damage is being converted to my health. So it's more damage for health. And there's a lot of components and things in my spec that does that. Hence why, I don't really use potions very often on this. So whenever I have died, it's because I wasn't even paying attention to my health. Normally I'm just sitting there and I can just spam my two abilities that I rotate. So getting into the skills now, we've got Reaping Strikes. This is giving me attack damage converted into health, and it's doing some Vitality Aether damage abilities, plus leeching energy off the enemies. Before I go any further into this, there's two things I'm going to mention. I messed up my skills, just errors I'd made while leveling. So there's those there's. I need to go back and fix it. I kind of just wanted to get this video out, so I will fix some of them. I will just kind of mention there are certain things you may or may not want to do if you decide to do this build. So just keep that in mind. Don't take this at face. A lot of these things can be changed. Moving on. Reaping Strikes gives that attack damage converted to health. It's really good. It's more leech. Necrotic Edge does a buttload of vitality damage, plus has a 95% chance to terrify the target for a second and a half, so it's giving you a little bit more window room for just damage reduction during that second and a half. It's really good. I went with a lot of passive, like activated on weapon default attack skills, because I had about five devotion abilities that I had got. So, keep that in mind. Bone Harvest. Obviously, I picked up Bone Harvest because the set pieces that I'm using on this just basically gives you like 10 points or so right into Bone Harvest. So I just dropped like a few points into this. Wasn't a whole lot. And the result is, as you see, some pretty good damage. I don't use this ability as much as I think I should. There could be fixes here. Then I went with Dread and Soul Harvest. That's also increasing pet damage as well. Then I went down and I chose Spectral Binding. I chose this mainly for the health and the offense ability that it gave me. Increases my damage. Plus, it's reducing enemy vitality resistances, as you can see here, and attack speeds. So it's really good defensively and offensively. Here's one of the abilities I think I should have put more points into, which is Smite. I'm want to go back, and if anyone does mimic my build for any reason, I would suggest putting more points into this. I feel like it's much better than I gave it credit for. Again, another passive ability that just procs off attacks, and I chose this because it helped with my devotions. And then I went with the, excuse me for butchering this, the Aegis of Menhir. It's your Avenger shield, whatever you want to call it. You throw your shield out. It stuns them for 3.1 seconds, hits up to 5 enemies, plus 4 more, and does a buttload of damage. It's cool. It taunts all the enemies, though, so keep that in mind. If you do decide to kind of change this build a little bit, you're going to be getting a lot of threat. Yeah. And especially if you're in a party. Keep that in mind with this. I want the Aegis of Thorns because it converts my damage into acid. And then Reprisal. I question how good this is. So keep that in mind. Summon Guardians of Empyrean. Again, butchered it. I know. I put as many points in this as I could. 1 point into the Scion of Dreg to convert their damage into Vitality and Acid. And then their Celestial Presence, which reduces their Poison, Acid, Vitality, and Bleeding resistances, plus applying acid damage. Yeah, it's cool. It does. These guys are really good because once they get up, or if they're standing next to you attacking an enemy, they have reduced vitality and poison, which is going to benefit you a freaking ton. It's insane. Then for the exclusive ability, I went with Path of the Three, obviously, because it gives you the acid, vitality, poison. And then it converts my physical damage to acid, fire damage to acid, and then 11% skill cooldown reduction. Really good. Put as many points as you can into it. I don't know where the cap is before, it just, you're going to not benefit as much from it, but it's really good. Then I went with the Presence of Virtue. I still don't know what to say about this one. I feel like I messed up with this one, but it does give shield block, so I chose it because you want to be a little bit defensive, so you could just mimic this. I don't know. I got to test this out a little bit more. Devotion. I'm not going to go through all the trees. I'm only going to go through the ones in which I actually picked up skills from. Starting with my target, which was Abomination. Now that I think about it, I was not paying attention. When I saw this tree, I came down right here and was like, Tainted Eruption. Oh my god, I want that. That's awesome. And I saw that had 2 skills, so I looked over here, I was like, oh my gosh, that's really cool. It does a whole bunch of freaking damage. And then I looked at it and was like, no. As I was explaining in my last video, I was like, well, I'm an idiot. It's chaos damage. Whatever. But whatever. So if you were doing this build, I still would go for this tree because it just gives a ton of acid vitality and poison. See, poison, health, acid, poison, and then Tainted Eruption, which I love to pieces. But you could just skip this and this, or you can get it like I did and be an idiot like I was. I don't know if it's good. I really couldn't tell you. So anyway, second point was Wendigo. So Wendigo, this one is going to give you an ability called Wendigo's Mark. And it puts this, so it's a chance on your attack, 51% chance on attack, to put a dot on the enemy. For people that know what dot means, damage over time over the enemy's head. That deals 5,164 vitality damage, as you can see. And 65% of that damage to each marked target is being converted into health back to you. So it's great. I would pick it up. It's great. I like it. Then I came over to the bat right here, and I picked up Twin Fangs, which is going to be doing some vitality damage again. And then, as you can tell, 45% of that damage is being converted into health. Then I chose Guardian's Gaze, which this is giving my pets Guardian's Gaze, so my pets get these eyes that go around them. And the reason I put it on my pets is because there's 2 of them, so it doubles up the effect of this, as opposed to putting it on one of my abilities, which would therefore allow it to proc, but it would only, I don't know, it just doesn't seem right. Anyway, so it doubles this up. So my pets have this. If I was more of a pet build, I would probably go and put this instead. I'm actually thinking about swapping these around. It might be a good idea to swap these 2 around and put those on your pets. I might actually do that later on, now that I'm thinking about it. But for now, that's what I did. Lastly, I went with the Scorpion, let's just say that. And I chose this because it just does poison damage and then reduces their defenses. So it's great. It's really nice. I really enjoy this build. It's like you just get so much health back. It's ridiculous. So real quick, I'll just show what it looks like again for those who are interested. Yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed the video.